This episode of Storytellers is brought to you by these fine companies.
I'm Jim Oddy, and you're watching Storytellers at CompetitionPlusTV.
Is there anything I left out on that first season that you would like to touch on?
Oh, I could tell you about our third race, but it might not go well.
Then Blake is. Hahn ran a 698, 703, and a 702 to advance to the final, whereas Blake cranked a 7-flat 702 and then slowed to a 706 in the most previous round.
You couldn't ask for two more diametrically opposed cars when it comes to mechanical setups. Hahn in the Black Mariah, Wiggins in Wicked Wanda. Here we go. Both cars away well. A little bit of smoke there from the back of Wiggins' car, and he is losing ground to the supercharged Corvette, Freddie Hahn.
An easy win for Freddie Hahn, a 697, 199 miles per hour, and Wicked Wanda looks on in disbelief.
Well, I can still remember the third race we won. That was quite a circus. I'll never forget it. It was Adco, New Jersey. And at that point in time, we were still pulling the car down the road with a pickup truck and an old snowmobile trailer, right? So we raced at Adco, New Jersey, and we qualified pretty well there. We ended up on the final round with Blake Wiggins, right? Well, unbeknownst to me, 2 or 3 racers had put up some money, and they protested our rear suspension, they protested the supercharger, they protested the engine size, and I had no idea what was going on. So we won that race, beat Blake Wiggins in the final, and we come back to return road, and IHRA officials took Blake Wiggins and took him to the victory circle. And they took me and they put me and said, you got to go back to the pits, we got to check out your car. Well, in the meantime, Blake Wiggins got the trophy, got the bottle of champagne, had the victory circle ceremony. And in the meantime, we're in the pits, and IHRA tech guys are underneath the car. You had to have 2 inches of travel in the rear suspension. So we jacked the car up and down, and sure enough, we had 2 inches of rear suspension. And we took their motor apart, and the cubic inch limit was 526, and it met the 526 limit, so we were good there. So then they got to the supercharger part, and they took the blower apart, and they didn't really know what they were looking at, so they took the supercharger over to Bob Newberry and asked him, is this supercharger legal? Is it a standard rotor, not a high helix? Bob took it all apart and said, yeah, it's a standard rotor, it's not a high helix blower, it's a legal blower. So now it's 11 o'clock at night, right? And they decided everything they protested was legal. So I had this, and I was pretty upset back in them days. I get a little fired up, and so I went to Robert Leonard and I told Robert, I said, Robert, I don't think I'll ever win 3 races in a row in my life again. This is a pretty special deal for me. I'd like to do the victory circle stuff. Robert's like, we really can't do that. Blake Wiggins is gone. He's got the trophy. He's got the champagne. I said, Robert, let's just do it anyway. Let's just go up. And I said, my kids are wondering why everybody's calling Dad a cheater. And I said, we got to right the ship here. We got to get this fixed. So, well, let me see what I can do. So, believe it or not, Robert Leonard sent somebody to catch up. They called Blake Wiggins. He was on the expressway heading back to Carolina. And they got him on the expressway, got the trophy back, got the champagne back, drove it back to Adco, New Jersey, and about midnight that night, we had Victory Circle with the pictures, the champagne, the trophy, and with my kids and crew enjoying our third race in a row, which I don't know if we've ever done that again, ever. So that's probably the biggest thing I remember about 1990.
So let me make sure I'm understanding this correctly. You won the race, and they gave him the trophy. And let him do the celebration, and you were technically the winner.
Right. Well, Robert Leonard was so convinced. I remember Al Billis and his dad put up a ton of money on the rear suspension, and they had some pretty quality people that had convinced them that my car was totally illegal. So obviously they were 100% convinced that they were going to find something wrong with my car. And 2, 3, 4 hours later, they couldn't find anything, so there was no option but to go back and make us the winner. I felt bad for Blake Wiggins. It's nothing you ever want to do to anybody, but you know, we got what we deserved. You didn't know that. You didn't know that story, did you?
No, I did not, but I know it now.
Blake knows it. Wanda knows it. We were all laughing and joking about it that Wanda had the death grip on the trophy. We weren't going to get it back.
So we're going to give you the trophy back.